Rich man asks a homeless black woman to join him at a wedding, but when they arrive, the hall falls silent. Austin stared blankly at the invitation in his hand. His fingers ran along the elegant gold letters, but the message still felt unreal. His ex-girlfriend Laura was getting married, and not just married. She was hosting the grandest event of the year at one of the most expensive venues in Paris. A year ago, she had walked out of his life. She had grown tired of waiting for him to put their relationship before his career. Now she was marrying a man who by all accounts gave her the time and attention she wanted. Austin tossed the invitation onto the glass table in his penthouse and sank into the leather couch. His apartment overlooked the Champs-Élysées, but tonight the view gave him no comfort. His chest was heavy with regret mixed with something darker. He had not spoken to Laura since she left, and the thought of going to her wedding alone was unbearable. The evening dragged on. The Eiffel Tower's glow flickered through his window as he poured himself whiskey. He thought about declining the invitation, but something inside him resisted. He decided he would go, but he would not go alone. The next day, Austin wandered the Paris streets aimlessly. While walking through the crowd, he noticed her, a woman sitting on the steps of a small cafe with her head bent low. She wore a faded coat that had seen too many winters. Her shoes were torn, her hair messy and uncombed. Yet there was something about her that made Austin stop. Her face was gentle, and though her struggles were clear, she carried a quiet strength. Something inside him shifted. "Hi," he said awkwardly, standing a few feet away. The woman lifted her head slowly. Her dark eyes met his. "Hello," she replied softly. "I'm Austin." Her gaze lingered on him for a while as if she was weighing if he was safe. "Celeste," she said at last with a faint smile. Austin hesitated. He was not sure why he had stopped. Maybe it was the wedding. Maybe it was the loneliness that crept into his bones. Whatever the reason, he found himself sitting down beside her on the cold steps. "Mind if I ask what brought you here?" Austin asked in a light tone. "Life, I guess." Celeste shrugged. "One bad thing after another, and I ended up here." Austin nodded, unsure how to respond. He was not used to talking with strangers, especially not with someone who had lived through such rough times. But there was something about the way she spoke with calm strength that kept his attention. "Look, this will sound crazy." Austin rubbed his temples, trying to frame his words. "But would you come to a wedding with me?" Celeste blinked. Her face showed both doubt and confusion. "You are serious? I'll make sure you have something to wear. Something beautiful. It's my ex's wedding, and honestly, I don't want to go alone." Celeste studied him carefully. When she saw no sign of a joke in his eyes, she let out a soft laugh. "I can't tell if this is the strangest or kindest thing anyone has asked me." "Maybe both," Austin said with a small smile. "But I mean it. Come with me." Celeste hesitated for another moment before nodding. "All right. Why not?" The following day, Austin brought her to a boutique. The kind of boutique where staff judged you the moment you walked in. Dressed in her worn coat, Celeste instantly drew their disdain. Austin noticed the looks and almost regretted bringing her. But when he met Celeste's eyes, he saw no shame. She walked inside with her head high. There was something regal about her despite her clothes. Eventually, the staff, sensing that Austin was not a man to cross, offered her a selection of gowns. When she stepped out of the dressing room later, Austin was left speechless. She wore an emerald gown that flowed perfectly around her. Her hair was neatly styled. Her natural beauty was highlighted by soft makeup. She did not look transformed. She looked like her true self. Strong. Elegant. "Is that really me?" she whispered, staring at her reflection. "Yes, that's you," Austin said warmly. The staff clapped politely, but Celeste only looked at herself in wonder. "Thank you," she said with sincerity. "You deserve this," Austin replied. The wedding day came. Austin drove to the Grand Chateau in the French countryside with Celeste by his side. As they entered the great hall, the crowd grew silent. Conversations paused. Heads turned. Celeste moved with a calm grace in her green gown. She looked like she belonged more than anyone. At the far end, Austin saw Laura greeting her guests with a polished smile. When her eyes landed on Austin and Celeste, her expression faltered. For a second there was surprise, then something darker, regret. "Austin," Laura greeted him when they finally reached her. Her voice cool but controlled. Her eyes shifted to Celeste. "And this is?" "Celeste," Austin said, smiling. "My date." Laura's smile tightened. She extended her hand. "A pleasure to meet you. You look lovely." "Thank you," Celeste replied warmly. "It's a beautiful wedding." The tension was sharp. Guests whispered behind their hands. Curious eyes followed Celeste. But she did not shrink. She stood tall. Later in the night, Laura pulled Austin aside into the garden. "I didn't expect you to bring someone like her," she said in a low voice. "What do you mean by that?" Austin frowned. "She's not from our world." "Austin, I don't want you getting hurt." "Hurt? You mean embarrassed." "This isn't about me, it's about you and your pride." Before Laura could answer, Celeste appeared. Calm but sharp. "I couldn't help overhearing," she said softly. "I know I'm not what you expected. But Austin invited me because he sees me for who I am. I'm more than my circumstances." Laura had no reply. Her composure cracked. She muttered something about greeting guests and hurried away. Austin looked at Celeste with admiration. "You didn't have to do that." "I did. For me as much as for you," she smiled. As the orchestra played, Austin and Celeste danced together. At first he had brought her to make a statement, but now he realized she was more than that. She was strong, kind, honest. By the end of the song he knew he didn't want the night to be the end. "Celeste," he said, looking into her eyes, "I don't want tonight to be the last time. I want to be there for you. I want to see where this goes." Celeste's lips curved into a soft smile. "I'd like that." They slipped out of the wedding later, walking the cobblestone streets under the night sky. Austin felt peace for the first time in years. The next morning, Celeste stood in the doorway of the guest room, wearing his old t-shirt and sweatpants. She looked more herself than she had at the wedding. "Morning," she said. "Morning." Austin smiled. He handed her coffee. After a pause, she whispered, "I should probably get going." "You don't have to," Austin said quickly. "I know, but I have to figure things out. I can't just be rescued. I need to stand on my own." Austin's chest ached, but he nodded. "Then take all the time you need. But I'll be here." Weeks passed. Celeste returned to the streets, but she was changed. The way Austin had seen her gave her strength. She began working odd jobs, saving, building a small life. Austin missed her every day but gave her space. One day Laura appeared in front of Celeste at the cafe. "I need you to stay away from Austin," Laura said coolly. Celeste felt anger, but kept calm. "If Austin wants me in his life, that's his choice. You'll never belong in his world." Laura sneered. Celeste stood tall. "I don't need to belong to your world. I just need to be true to myself." That evening Celeste told Austin about the meeting. He grew furious. "She's wrong, Celeste. You belong anywhere you want to be. With me." Celeste's eyes softened. "Then let's try." They tried. But his world did not welcome her. His friends whispered. His family doubted. Celeste felt the weight of not fitting in. Austin fought for her, but the pressure was constant. Finally, Celeste asked for space. "I love you, Austin, but I need to stand on my own before I can stand with you." Austin's heart broke, but he agreed. Months passed. Celeste built a modest life for herself. She found a small apartment. She began to believe she deserved more. Austin, meanwhile, stood up to his family. He realized his only real choice was to live true to himself. One rainy evening he found himself at Celeste's door. She opened it shocked. "Austin," she whispered. "I couldn't stay away. You're all I've thought about," he said, standing in the rain. Tears filled her eyes. "I've missed you." He took her hand. "I don't care what the world says. All I care about is us." Celeste stepped forward and hugged him. The rain poured down as they held on to each other. They knew their journey was not over. They would still face battle, but together they would be stronger. And no matter what lay ahead, they would face it side by side. Hearts beating as one.